It's Movement Monday, which means the physical domain is on your H2F menu. We are going to discuss the 3 types of warm-ups as well as their purposes. So first, we have the general warm-up. The general warm-up is meant to increase your cardio and respiratory rate, as well as to increase the pliability of your muscles and your joints. The entire purpose of this type of warm-up is to do something that is generally not overly fatiguing for your main session, but does increase your heart rate. If you are tracking your heart rate zones and you're familiar with what those are, here's where you want to get to at least zone 1, maybe 2, depending on the intensity of your activity. After that, you move into your dynamic warm-up. Now, your dynamic warm-up is purely focused on a range of motion. It should be targeted at the joints you are about to train, and even better, it should be targeted toward the movement patterns that you feel you are deficient in. So if you're lacking a certain bit of rotation, a little bit of abduction or adduction, which means coming out or coming in respectively, a little bit of flexion or extension, whatever you may be lacking at that joint, whatever plane of motion, this is where you focus on it, getting into about 10 to 20 repetitions of something that is not overly fatiguing again, but will prepare you for better movement. Then we get into the specific warm-up, which is where we potentiate, and otherwise known as prime, the pattern. This is where you're doing the exact same thing as your main exercise, whether that is cycling, whether that is running, whether that is resistance training. You do the exact same movement at a lower intensity and a lower volume to prepare your neuromuscular system for the innervations that are necessary for you to perform optimally. Your warm-up is one of the most critical parts of your entire training program. It can both mitigate injury and it can increase your performance. What we don't want to do, which is what we traditionally did, is statically stretch prior to an exercise, meaning you don't want to hold a position for, say, 20, 30 plus seconds before exercise. Research has shown that this will inhibit, otherwise turn down, your overall capability of sending an electronic and chemical signal to the area, and it can decrease your performance while increasing your injury. So static stretching out before and dynamic warm-ups in before. Again, I am your H2F System Manager, Sergeant First Class USAR Rice. If you ever need any form of help, please feel free to reach out to me or your H2F professionals. We're here to help you take the next step.